Right, first of all, thanks ever so much. I'm not sure if you guys were able to catch the field sessions that we put on yesterday and today. Some of the feedback we've received is how dynamic the training is that we've performed. Not having children stood around, multi-movement exercises, good touch and technique drills, and a really well thought out training session. And so one of the things that the Expo have asked me to come in and talk about is efficiency in laying out training sessions. How you plan them, what's your thought process behind them, and are we hitting the right point? So one of the things I want to do is we just go through a PowerPoint presentation here. It should take about 30 minutes, and we'll do enough some questions and answers afterwards. We can get a little bit more personal in regards to what your needs are and where you're looking. But one of the things I want to do is I want to go through a PowerPoint and just take you through what my thought process is in how training sessions should be laid out, formatted, and what I'm hoping to achieve from it. So as you can see, it's a coaching development and continuing education program. It's effective training session planning. Just some little blumph about me. So I won't go through too much detail on that. Just so you understand the history of me. I came to the US in 1991. A company called Corva brought me over here. 92, I set up my own business, which was British European Soccer Training. It's been going for 23 years now. We run camps all over the country. We're not a franchise business. We have a group of 15 to 20 full-time staff, all US-based coaches. It's our first time up in Canada. The Expo actually saw me working out in LA and invited me up to be a clinician and guest speaker. So they kind of like what they saw. So just some little things about me. I'm a UEFA B license. I've got an associate's degree in physical education. City and Guilds and Recreation and Leisure Management. That's a UK qualified degree where I can go in and kind of organise structure of a facility like this, or a company, a sports company, where I can oversee the infrastructure, look at the infrastructure, improve the infrastructure, and just kind of work with groups to try and improve them, get them to the next level. As you can see, I've been in the country 23 years coaching soccer. Former professional player, played for Portsmouth, left high school at 16, signed professional at 16, and by the time I was 19, I was retired with an ACL and MCL, and at the time, I don't know about now, but at the time I was actually one of the youngest UEFA B coaching licenses in the country at the time. I think it's probably been beat now. I was 21 years old. So current positions, I run a club out of Philadelphia called TISA, Tredyffrin Easttown Youth Soccer Association, and FC Europa. I'm also the advisor to the board there. The advisor to the board is the direction that we want to take the club. Where are we heading? What's our goals? What's our 5-year plan? Where do we want to be? Do we want to be an academy? Do we want to be an ECNL? Do we want to be a group that just focuses on getting kids in college? What do we want to be? So, my job is to kind of guide, direct, and move that club in that direction. I also do that for a number of clubs across the country. I go in as an advisor. I work with the board. I work with the TD or the director of coaching, and we kind of figure out a plan of where the club wants to go. So that's one of the things I'm very privileged to do and thoroughly enjoy it as well. Okay, so discussion points. Coaching philosophy. Are we over-coaching our players? Are we under-coaching our players? Just in this expo, over the last couple of days, I spoke to numerous coaches, and two of the biggest topics were over-coaching and under-coaching. I actually had some parents leave my session yesterday and send me some emails that they've got from their club in regards to players over-coaching. So we're going to go through that a little bit later in the presentation. Training planning, your session layout, session topics, how you lay out your sessions, what the theme of the session is, what you're hoping to achieve. Session summary and evaluation. So player evaluation, team evaluation, session evaluation, and self-coach evaluation. How you look at yourself, how others look at you. So things that we're looking for in this presentation is to not only assess and evaluate how your session was formatted, planned, and laid out, but did you personally hit those targets and did you perform to what you wanted to achieve? So that's the discussion points that we're looking for. So here we go, overcoaching. Overcoaching has been criticized, and rightly so. For some of these critics argue that the game is the best teacher. Right, so let's pause there for a second. Had a parent yesterday approach me. They live local. I don't know, never met them before. And one of the things they said to me was, is this correct? We have a coach that we pay X amount of dollars for per month. He's a great believer that the game is the teacher. So he does not coach. He does not coach technique. He does not coach tactics. He believes in 3v3s because it's the Dutch way. And he stands there with his arms folded after a 15-minute warm-up, which might involve laps around the field, and stands there and watches the session. And every time we as parents approach him, he reminds us that the Dutch, the Germans, the English, I guess, always endorse and believe in small-sided games. And so he allows these kids to play. So the theory behind it is if they make mistakes, they should self-identify those mistakes and make those mistakes better. And he asked my thoughts on it. And so without stepping over the professional boundaries of criticizing another coach, I say, you know, every coaching philosophy is different, but I've never heard of standing back and just watching kids play, and especially doing things wrong and not correcting that. So for me, that was, you know, is the game the teacher? Absolutely. But I'm a great believer in, if your technique's not good, if your understanding of the game's not good, if your fundamental skill base is not good, you're going to continue to make mistakes over and over and over and over again. And will you improve? Yeah, you probably will, but your understanding of the game, the situation you're in, may not improve. So although I didn't want to publicly criticize his coach, or I don't know, you know, there was a disagreement there, and that's okay. Soccer's all about opinions. There is some truth to this, but in my experience, the best approach is for the coach to teach technique and basic terms of concepts, and also incorporate small-sided games, practice games that teach techniques or tactics, or situational scrimmages. So if you were able to watch the session, one of the things we work on, we do work in small groups and we do work in small-sided scrimmages, but we're a great believer in improving fundamental skill base. Any sport, not just soccer. If your fundamental skill set is below par, you're never going to improve. So I always tell people, if you're slow, get quick. Find a way of getting quick. Get training, get quick. If you're unfit, get fit. If you're slightly overweight, work out a nutrition plan. It's not going to help you. It's not going to benefit you. If your skill set, i.e. your first touch, your control, trap and receiving, passing, shooting, dribbling, is substandard, then find a teacher that can teach you those skill sets. Because what's going to happen is, as you move on, if you don't improve those at an early age being, you know, in your wonder years, from the age of, you know, 8 up to about 14, you're never going to improve that skill set, which means by the time you get to the golden years, the most important years, which are 15, 16, 17, in college recruitment process, and that's what you know, the country, the US is primarily about, where I work. You're behind, and if you're behind, it's too late to play catch up. The amount of children I have come through my academy that at the age of 15 are saying to me, "We want to get serious about soccer now," and I look at them and go, "Wow, you know, where were you 2 years ago? Where were you 3 years ago? When I can improve you, I can mold you, shape you, and develop you." Now, I'm a great believer you can't do that by just standing back and watching, right? I'm a great believer in making sure that you have a personal program that you follow that's going to suit your needs and shape you and guide you on your path to where you want to achieve. Everybody's going to, you know, hit a different height, okay, a different level. My job as the director of coaching, or the national director of coaching, is to make sure that not only am I coaching you in a team concept, but I'm also identifying your individual needs. And your individual needs are different to the person next to you. My job is to make sure that you guys fulfill your potential that I see in you. One role for a soccer coach is to show the right way, to teach the basic terms and concepts and teach players the rules and guide their decision making and let them play. So, we're playing a game. John makes a decision to turn and play into pressure. Do I stop him or do I say keep playing? Too many coaches who believe that the game is the teacher would just allow them to play. So one of the things that we've got to do as coaches is educate on the fly, if you like. Okay? NSCAA, the federation, not just the Quebec or the Canadian Federation, but federations have different mindsets. I'm giving you a European mindset. A European mindset is stop. This is the correct way to do this. Okay? If you do it again, stop. This is the correct way to do this. Stop. This is the correct way to do this. Because if you don't educate, okay, you're not going to develop. If you're not going to develop, then you've got no chance of getting where you need to get to. I can't imagine a child who wouldn't benefit from being taught proper technique and basic soccer terms, concepts and rules. Overcoaching is bad, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't teach the kids how to play. Okay? So, again, I just reference sessions that we've done, and we've had lots of positive feedback about the difference of what we perform to some of the other stuff that other coaches have seen. I'm not saying it's better or worse. One of the things we like to do is run game situation scenarios through drills. So if we're working on touching technique, we work them in an environment that is aggressive, competitive, game realistic, and making sure that we use that in the next set of sessions that we use after the one they're in currently. So it's a flowing session, which we're going to come to in a second. Thinking yourself as a teacher and not as a coach may help you and avoid the tendency to overcoach. I always get parents that go to me. I do a lot of parent education programs. So parents that not necessarily ever played soccer, and they go, "Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea." And I just remind them that the best coach is a teaching coach, and you don't necessarily have to be a great soccer player to be a good coach. It's good coaches that make good soccer players. The amount of times I've been able to watch young coaches, old coaches, volunteer coaches, paid coaches, and learn something and take that and build on that it's a foundation of my program that I write. And a lot of the drills that some of you guys have seen me run today are a lot of original ideas that I've, kind of put my name to for our program, but they're not necessarily my ideas. There's stuff that I've seen other coaches do and just said, I know how to improve that. I can make that better. I can make that my own by doing this. And I want to go and share. Sometimes I want to see a coach work and I want to go and share with a coach. Oh, if you just done this, this, and this, it would have been fantastic. But then I think, well, if I do that, I can't add it to my program. So I kind of steal it a little bit, right? So I'm a thief. I'm a soccer thief. I love to steal ideas. I love to take it and make it better. And then people go to me, hey, you're the greatest. It's fantastic, right? I want to be good. But then when I give back, when I do these sessions, my hope is that when people are watching what we do, they're taking notes. And I always tell all the coaches that I work with, take one thing away from my session and I've done my job. Just take one thing away. Take it, whether it's a session, whether it's some terminology, whether it's an idea, take it away, run with it, make it good, make it great. Because that one idea could improve 1,000 children over the course of 5 years. If you take that and you make it yours and you develop it and make it great, it's going to make kids great. And if you can make young players great because of an idea I gave you that you developed, you've just become a very good coach. You really have. So remember, you don't need to be a good player to be a good coach. Good coaches make good players. So undercoaching, the definition of undercoaching. Poorly planned session. Now, the biggest one I get, and I run a club of 2,700 players, and so I'm dealing with 1,700 recreational kids. So I'm probably dealing with about 200 parent coaches. And they say to me, well, we don't have time to plan sessions. So I write them a module. Problem is, and you've probably been there, a technical director or a director coach can hand you a model as a possibly non-soccer playing coach, just a parent who wants to help their child, and you look at it and you go, I just don't understand that. I just don't get it. There's lines everywhere, there's crosses, there's arrows, there's dots, and I'm confused. So I'm a visual guy. So one of the things I've just done recently in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, I ran a coaches clinic for rec parents. And it was a parent coaches clinic, and I done a handout for them, and there was like 6 or 7 different pages in there. And at the top, there was a blank gray square. And then underneath all the written levels. So level 1 might have been 50% forward running, level 2 dribbling, level 3 passing, whatever it may be. And one of the parents said to me, oh, I think you've given me a bad copy. There's no diagrams on here. And I said, oh, here's your pen. You're going to write those in as we go along. Because being a visual coach and liking to see it and write it down myself, I wanted to say to them, I'm teaching you now to understand what I'm explaining. And from that, you write it down. I'll tell you the dimensions of the drill. You write the drill down. So when we finished the session, which is about a 2-hour clinic, we had parents with 6 to 8 pages of drills that I'd written all the literature out, all the levels. All they had to do was draw diagrams, draw pictures. So they understood it. So when we referenced back to it, they totally understood exactly what I was portraying to them. I'm a great believer in the 3 V's of coaching, okay? The 3 V's are, I verbally tell children what to do, and they look totally confused. So I visually show them. So I do a demonstration, or I have a child do a demonstration. And then I verify, that's my 3rd V, I verify that they've understood what they've seen and what they've heard. So the 3 V's of coaching, I live and die by, always have. Okay, the 3 V's of coaching are verbally explain what you want that child or that group to do. Guarantee you'll get a confused look. As much as they will understand it, they won't understand it. So you visually show them. Children perform and react visually very well when they actually see it. And then verify, confirm, let them know, do you understand it? If you don't, tell me, we'll go through it again. It's very important they understand what it is. Especially in my world, where parents pay me to improve their children, right? If I'm not taking them to a level that they can understand the concept of where I want to get them, I've just wasted that parent's money. So it's very important for me on a personal level to make sure that this child understands what I want. From a parental level, that those parents are not wasting time, that they can justify that what they're paying is good value for money, and that the player themselves will get to the next level by using the skills that I'm teaching them. So, poorly planned session. A poorly planned session is someone rushing from work, getting to a field, having no idea what the session is going to be, throwing some disc down, or making the kids do a lap round the field, and have no idea and making it up on the fly. Under coaching, that's a poorly planned session, okay? No flow, no connection. No flow, no connection means if I do a warm-up, I have a theme in mind. My theme is right the way through the session. So my theme, let's say it's passing. My theme will incorporate passing in the warm-up, in the touch and technique session, in the shooting session, and in the game. That's my flow. My flow, my topic, my theme, I incorporate in a small percentage from the warm-up right the way through to the scrimmage at the end. Okay? So flow and connection, connect the sessions together. Very important. Don't jump all over the chart. Right? Don't go, oh, you know what, we're going to do dribbling, then we're going to do passing, then we're going to do shooting, then we're going to... Can't do it. Because if you're working with a young player, their mind is set on one thing, typically at a time. The moment you start confusing them with 3 or 4 different topics, they're all over the chart. Okay, and you're gonna maybe teach them something in session 1, they would have forgotten about it in session 2. But the theme is, or the main theme is passing, and it's a flowing session, they know, they understand that it all kind of blends in together, okay? So don't cheat the child, don't undercoach by doing a random all over the chart session. Make it a flowing session, topic to topic to topic to topic, all connected, okay? No interaction with the players. Been a witness to this. 2 goals, play. Well done, great job. Don't do that. Turn around, pass here. Silence, 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 silence. You know, no interaction, no energy, no passion, okay? Players, young players will feed off your enthusiasm. Young players will feed off your knowledge. Young players will develop their skill set based on what you want to teach them. If you want to be a lazy coach, then don't coach, okay? Don't coach just because, oh, well, there's no one else to coach my child. That's a bad reason to coach. If you're not going to apply yourself in the right way, i.e., I'm going to learn and put some effort into this. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this well. Okay? So don't just go, well, there was no one to coach my kid. I'll do it. And then go there and be underprepared. You may as well have not done it. Okay? No technical correction. We spoke about this in the last slide. You know, ball comes to me and my body shape's incorrect, or I let the ball hit me, or technically I'm not, you know, I'm doing things wrong. I'm not collapsing my body. I haven't got low center of gravity. I'm not pushing through the ball. So as a coach then, do I stand there and allow that? Do I allow bad technique to continue? Because for me, that's under-coaching. That's doing the player and the parent and the game an injustice, okay? So always correct bad things. Now, I'm not saying you have to jump in every second. And I'm not saying you can't just pull that child out for a 30-second speech and then put them back in again. But please never stand there and watch things be done incorrectly and not correct them, because you're never going to improve as a coach and you're never going to improve as a player. For me, coaches who do not correct technique either don't know, and then shame on you for not educating yourself through the right courses, the right organizations, videos, books, whatever it may be, internet, or you're being lazy. It's one or the other. It can only be one. It can be one of those two, okay? So if you're going to do it, jump in both feet, right? You may not be a wonderful soccer player. You may have never played soccer, but you know as well as I do that if a ball comes to me and I do a hard touch and I send it back out, that's incorrect. So how do I teach a soft touch? Find that information out, okay? No tactical correction. Now, you may say, well, you don't teach tactics to 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds. Now, what I mean by this is I see loads of young players receive the ball, pass it and watch. Well, a good tactical correction is, how about passing it and being available again? So then stop it and say, hey, how about passing that and moving here and offering it? For me, that's a tactical information. For me, that's a tactical correction. I'm not talking about formations, 4-4-2, 5-4-1, whatever it may be. I'm talking about individual tactical correction. So I say to someone, you know, what's the purpose of an overlap? Well, first of all, I say, what is an overlap? And they go, oh, that's easy. It's when you run around the back of someone. Okay, great. So you know that. So what's the purpose of an overlap? Trying to give them knowledge. They go, I don't know. My coach told me to do it. Well, the purpose of an overlap is to create a numerical advantage, a 2-on-1, right? So if I have the ball here and a defender is coming towards me, this is a 1-on-1 situation. If I have someone go round there, it's now a 2-on-1 situation. Now, as a coach, if I keep allowing 1-on-1 situations, that's going to end up as a 50-50 duel all the time. Where if I have a guy working on an overlap around me and giving something here, it now becomes a 2-on-1. I've just captured all the advantage. I've taken it back. I've got the power. Because my choice is I pass to him or I take it on myself. Now, that's a tactical correction. Then I say to the player, you've got the ball, you've received an overlap, and you've got a defender in front of you. Who determines what pass you make? Question to you guys. Who determines that? Who determines? I have the ball, have a defender there, and my teammate just overlapped me. Who determines what choice I make? Say again, young man. The defender, correct. Because if I have the ball here and I'm going this way and that person shouts overlap and goes to there and he thinks, oh, I'll steal that, then I just turn and go the other way. Or if he comes towards me and doesn't see that, then I play that pass. But I've got to be technically good enough to see that, and I've got to be tactically good enough to see that and play that. So it's very important, right, that we are technically and tactically correct. No coaching energy. One of the things that great t-shirts, by the way. One of the things that just drives me crazy as a coach is no energy from coaches, right? Coaches need to be cheerleaders as well. There's a small section in every coach that you need to beat the drum. If I go to a session and I'm flat, not fat, flat, okay? If I go to a session and I'm like, oh, God, I'm tired now. Right, guys, let's do a passing drill. And I have the kids to there. They're not going to get anything from me. I'm cheating them again. But if I get there and say, right, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to go A to B, B to C, overlap here, and we're going to do all this. And I'm really pumped and excited, and I'm really beating the drum. They're going to live off that. They're going to feed off that. And that energy that I've created in my session is what's going to get this group and drive them forward. Okay? Passion from the coach, energy from the coach will reflect on your players' performance. Right? If you're being lazy as a coach, your players will be lazy. If you show energy, passion, drive, your coaches will show energy, passion, and drive. It's that simple. If you show that you don't care, they won't care. Okay? And it goes back to that technical and tactical correction again. So if I stand there and watch a game and see things going wrong, wrong, they're not going to care. Why should they? Coach says it's right. He hasn't corrected me. But if I say it's wrong, and here's why it's wrong, here's a good reason, okay? One of the things, I spoke to you about the 3 V's of coaching. Verbal demonstration, visual, and then verification. I also live and die by control, vision, decision. Okay, control, vision, decision. So let's think about that. The most important thing in soccer, technique, is it first touch? You're late, we'll pick on you. Is it first touch? Would you say first touch is the most important thing? Hands up if you think first touch is the most important thing. Okay? Okay, you're all wrong. That's the second most important thing from a technical standpoint. The first most important thing is preparation, right? I've got to think. So first of all, I'm anticipating, right? So the ball might be going that way. Yeah, my first touch has to be good. But first of all, I've actually got to think about doing something and then actually do it. So there's 2 types of preparation. There's mental preparation and there's physical preparation. Thinking about it and doing it. So let's just say the ball's coming down here. I've got to think, right, that's where it's going to land. That's my mental preparation. My physical is actually moving back. Now my first touch comes in. That's where control, vision, decision comes in. So control is bringing that ball down. Chest, thigh, lace, inside foot, whatever you want. Okay? So control. Vision. I've got it under control. I've got my head up. I'm head on the swivel. I'm looking. Okay? Mental preparation, physical preparation, control, vision. I'm up. Control, vision. Decision. There's only 3 things I can do with a soccer ball once I've got it at my feet. What is it? Dribble, pass, shoot. That's it. There's only 3 things I can do. A cross is a pass, right? So that's how simple the game is. The game simply is get yourself ready physically and mentally, get the ball down, get your head up, and make a decision. Now, the key is doing all that correctly and doing it fast. Because slow players will remain average players. Quick players, and I don't mean speed, but quick preparation, quick excellence of touch, quick decision making, that's what makes a special player. That's what gets you to the next level, okay? So, session energy, as we just covered there, is, for me as a coach, showing my players that I care. Showing my players I want you to get better. And when you do something wrong, I'm going to have to tell you. There's no point me not telling you because you're not improving. I care. The reason I'm telling you is because I care about you. And that's my energy. My energy is letting you know I care. No session overview or feedback. So, twofold. Number one, a session overview for the players. Roundup. So get everybody in. Let's talk about the session quick. 5-minute overview. So we talk about the session. What do we do well? What do we need to improve on? How can we improve on that? What could I have done better as a coach for you guys? What could you have done better as players? Quick session overview. Throw some questions out, get some answers back. Okay? If you don't do that, you're under coaching. If you just say, right guys, and wrap it up there, see you all next week. How do I know what I've done well as a player? What I need to improve on? Okay? Every session is a teaching opportunity. Okay? Whether you pay money to your coach or you don't, it's a learning opportunity. Okay? And as a coach, you have a responsibility to teach. If you don't want that responsibility, don't coach. It's that simple. Okay? Everybody deserves the right to be told how to improve if they're under your leadership. Okay? You're the mentor. You're their hero. You're their friend. You're their teacher. Okay? So make sure you bring that to them. Personal feedback. Ask yourself a question. What did I miss? What could I have done better? Is there something that I can bring to the next session that I missed? Because if you can self-assess and self-correct and make yourself better, you're a better person, you're a better coach, and everybody benefits from it. Okay? Any questions on that? Didn't scare anyone, did you? A bit over the top, maybe. Okay. Here we go. Create an environment that is both challenging and fun by the way of developing players, intrinsic motives and transporting them into success technically, tactically, physically, and psychologically. Okay, so a framework, right? I've got a framework now. I've got a philosophy, right? Applying that. Don't fall short of it. Always improve it. So therefore, I'm implementing a player's centric training model that uses a play-based learning system. So I spoke to you earlier about game-related drills that I performed in a session over there yesterday and today, and how that flowed into the final end game of what those topics were. Okay, so my goal was to take them on a journey from the warm-up right the way through to the scrimmage, using the topics that we've used every single session and implement them in the final product. If the final product complemented all those sessions before it, I've done my job. I always say to my players, there's 3 things I say to my players after every session. Number 1, and it's for my benefit, my ego. Number 1, did you work hard? Okay, they say yes, I tick the box. Number 2, did you learn anything? Did you learn one thing from this session? If it's a yes, I tick the box. And 3, did you have fun? Did you have fun learning and working hard? And if it's yes, we tick the box. I'm very fortunate and blessed that we have a training program at BEST, at British European Soccer Training. And if you've observed it, we work kids hard. And we have a lot of fun with them. And we have a lot of energy with them. And we develop and we improve. And yeah, they work hard. And yeah, they learn something. They enjoy it. And we do have a bit of fun. Okay? So it's very important that those key elements are brought to the session. Okay, so effective training session planning leading up to the game side. So equal or more length to duration of a game. So when you train, so typically in an ideal world, what I like to do is if I'm playing a 40-minute half, train for 40 minutes. 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I'm not saying don't train for an hour, not train for an hour and a half, but try and keep the drill going for the length of a half. So if you're there for an hour and a half session, right, do periods of time. If it's 20-minute or 25-minute halves, then train for 20 minutes, take a break. Train for 20 minutes, take a break. Get them used to the duration of the game, okay? One of the biggest things, and my partner here, Wayne, is just coming as a co-coach with me for a team that we've taken over. And one of the things, the first thing that we noticed on this team was, we haven't seen it for a while, is kids, 15-year-old girls putting a hand up, can I have a break? Can I have a rest? blew our minds away. Where was the preparation to keep them on the field? If I take my players off the field, they're pissed at me. They're like, what do I do wrong? Why are you taking me off? Right? I'm trying to give you a break. No, I don't want a break. These girls are like, coach, I need a break. Really? You need a break? If you're coming off and this kid goes in and does a better job than you, they're staying in. You just lost that shirt. So prepare players for that. Get them ready physically, mentally, and technically to stay on the field. And teach them, if you come off the field, shame on you. Right? I'll take you off if I think you need a break. If you're doing really well and you need a break, I won't punish you. You're going back on. Right? But if you ask to come off because you're tired, or you ask to come off because you're injured, I mean, I'm talking about illness and that's a different thing, but if you want to come off just because you want a break, then you're not prepared. Now, whose fault's that? Mine or the players? Who is it? Probably a little bit of both, right? Because if I'm doing my job right as a coach, I should have identified their weakness. Coaches out there, how many times have you looked at a player and thought, you're not fit enough? How am I going to tell your parents that? Right? Sorry, your child is 5 pounds too heavy. Sorry, your child's far too slow. It's a hard conversation to have. So you've got to implement a way as a coach to deliver the hidden message and get that player right. Okay? One of the things I say to my players, do you trust me? One-on-one, do you trust me? I do, coach. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Here's a home program. Go and work on that for me for a week, 2 weeks. If you trust me, go and do that. Because I see benefits from that. And trust is earned, right? So if I've taken them on a journey where they're trusting me as their friend, their coach, their mentor, their teacher, they're going to go and do that. Because the message I'm delivering is, you want to be on the field. Especially at U15, U16, U17, when college coaches are looking. At my showcases that we attend, my teams probably attend 10 to 12 college showcases nationally, from junior showcase at U15, U16, to the senior showcase at U17, U18. You want to be on the field. Because if you're not on the field, you're not getting seen. If you're not getting seen, it's an opportunity you've missed. So why aren't you on the field? Is it because you're not fit? Is it because I haven't done my job? What is it? So we've got to figure that out. So my job is to prepare players. During your session, choose a topic. We spoke about this. Don't go off the charts. Don't go, you know what? I'm going to do shooting, passing, dribbling, scrimmage, No. Pick one or two. If you pick two, make sure they complement each other. Okay? Whatever you do, don't try and cram 4 topic sessions into an hour and a half. Because number one, it doesn't benefit the kid. They don't learn. Okay? And number two, right, you've diluted the learning process down. Okay? So let's make sure we pick topics, stick to those topics, and then build a flowing session, which we'll talk about. Key point, start your session with the end in mind. Right? Think about that for a minute. So, what do I want to achieve? Where do I want to get to? What journey do I want to take these children on to accomplish what I want them to accomplish? So before I even start my session, I know in my head what the end's going to be. I know where I want them to be. I know where they need to be. They don't know. I know, I'm the coach. So it's very important for me that when I'm laying out my session, before the session, that I know what the end's going to be. I know where your journey is going to take you as a player. Because I've done it and I've coached it. Okay? And it's a process and it's a formula. So always know, think about your sessions. Now, don't think about individual sessions. Don't think about, oh, okay, so the session's going to be this and I want it to go to here. Think about 3 months down the line. Think about where you want them to be. Because the start and the end, when I talk about session planning and training, I'm not talking about single sessions. I'm talking about a curriculum. I'm talking about a spread. So don't just think, oh, okay, yeah, one session of mine. Dave said, start with the end in mind. I've got it. No. Plan your sessions out. Plan a curriculum out. Plan a session out for your group. Once you've identified their strengths and weaknesses, build a curriculum that takes them on a journey that you know what the end product's going to be. That's what that's referring to, not single sessions. Okay? Set a clear learning outcome objective for each session. Okay, so that's your key point. So now we're talking about per session. So per session is what do I want to achieve as a coach and what do I want my players to achieve? Okay? Maintain a flow. You've heard me say this now many, many times. Flow the session, flow the session. A goes into B, B goes into C, C goes into D. The end product is everything we've just worked on. Don't go all over the charts. It doesn't benefit you as a coach and it doesn't benefit the players. Teach from simple to complex. That's a good point. So I had a coach in my club last year and he approached me and he was new to the club and he was a volunteer coach. He said, you know, what formation should I play? I thought, okay, this guy probably knows his stuff, you know. I said, what age are you coaching? He went, oh, you 6. I went, what? I went, don't you play 3v3? He went, yeah. I went, what are you talking about? Formation. He said, I don't know how to play a 2 and a 1 or a 1-1-1. I went, listen, put a ball on the field and let these kids play. They're 6 years old, okay? I said, just tell them to spread out, try and pass the ball, right? So when we talk about teach from simple to complex, don't get ahead of yourself as coaches, right? Simple soccer is the best soccer. I always joke with my players, and the parents know me. I always say there's 2 types of soccer, smart and stupid, right? Be smart, right? Smart and stupid soccer, just be smart, okay? Simple is smart. Simple is genius, okay? Right? All the complex stuff will come later on, but the journey is going to be keep it, KISS. You've heard that right, K-I-S-S. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Right? Now, I always tell my players, I'm not calling you stupid, but I always go, just kiss it. Keep it simple, stupid, right? Make things as simple as you possibly can, right? Because it always becomes harder. I always tell my players, this is how easy the game of soccer is. If you're physically ready, if you're technically ready, all you have to do is control the ball and pass it. That's how easy the game is, right? Barcelona, right, who, in my opinion, are the 2nd greatest team in the world behind the England national team, right? All they do, is, if you watch them, they get the ball and they go, oh, there's a pass there, and there's a pass there, oh, and there's a pass there. There you go, that's much easier. And then this guy goes, oh, thank you very much. Oh, there's a pass there, there you go. And they just connect. And their game's simple, quick, flowing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game because they don't kill it. They don't kill the game, right? It's teams, it's coaches that say, hey, you know what? We're going to put 2 6'5" players up front and we're going to bang it long and we're going to play off. Just keep it simple. Just get the ball down, make triangles, make space, make movement, make options, right? So keep it simple. The complex stuff, I promise you now, will come along in your journey. Always finish with a game for a number of reasons. 1, children love 2 things, shoot and play, right? They don't like the boring stuff. They don't want to learn how to control, trap, receive, pass, do some moves. That's boring, right? They want to play and they want to shoot. So good thing for us as coaches, we can say, hey, stop there, right? If we don't get this drill done, we're not playing. We're threatening our kids now, right? Great threat. We got 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there. This becomes 25 minutes and 15 minutes. This becomes 30 minutes and 10 minutes. This time will always go down until we get ourselves right technically, physically, okay, and tactically here, and then we can move it to a game. So I always say finish with a game because they love it, and 2, finish with a game because it's a good threat. Now, I did have a coach in my club a couple of years ago come up with a great idea. I'm sad when I fired him, but really good guy. He used to have kids turn up late for training. So he said, I'm going to do my scrimmage at the start, right? So he played for the first 20 minutes. His kids came, and then he ran his drills. So when the kids were late for practice, they never got to play. So the kids were saying to the parents, hey, you've got to get me to practice. We scrimmage first. So now the kids are putting pressure on the parents to get them there. Pretty cool concept. I'm not saying I agree with it, but it was pretty good. Okay, session details. So the duration of sessions. So what's an appropriate time length for a 6 to 8 year old? An hour? Pretty much. You know, give or take, you know, an hour. 9 to 10, 75 minutes. 11 to 15, about 90 minutes. 16 to 18, about 120. Yeah, give or take. You know, don't overkill it. Now, I haven't got on there how many times a week. Okay, I think that determines on the level you're coaching. If you're coaching academy, ECNL, or a high-level premier team getting ready for college showcases, then you want to train 3 times a week. If you're coaching young 6 to 8-year-olds and you're only playing in the fall, say, or 1 season, twice a week. Okay? Anson Dorrance said in one of his books that champions train when no one's watching. And I'm a great believer and endorse that even at the age of 6. Okay? Champions train when no one's watching. So go out and play. Go out. You know, kids going and kicking around is something that is still there's a big lack of. There's a big void. You know, I don't know so much about Canada, but in the US, don't see many people out playing the game. You know, you go to Europe, it's all you see. And I'm not saying that we're way ahead, but what I will tell you is, you go to Europe, you'll see kids playing everywhere, car parks, fields, waste ground, organized, you know, just playing. And we don't do that as much anymore. And so, you know, that's training. That's training with your mates, your friends. So get kids out. It doesn't have to be an organized training session. Get a kid out with the ball, get them playing. 3 to 4 topics. So here's the session slice. We'll slice the session up now. So warm up. Pick a warm up. Where is it dynamic? Is it maximal and progressional? Is it ball work? Is it a little bit of aerobic, anaerobic? You know, you pick it. Technical. So the technical part. Tactical. Again, I don't mean 4-4-2. I mean tactical in tactical awareness. Where should I have been to receive the ball? You know, can I shift players around? Can I make them aware of where do I go to receive a pass? Themed game. Themed game is my favorite, by the way. So themed game, if you watch the sessions that I ran, we do a game called, it's a Barcelona drill. I'd love to take credit for it, but I can't. It's called Points for Possession. It's a Barcelona Academy drill. And Points for Possession is brilliant. It's, if I have the ball and I go to pass it and turn the ball over, I've got to do 3 push-ups. Right? It's a themed game. If I get the ball and someone takes it off me, I do 3 push-ups because I've turned the ball over. And the theory behind that is, and you try it, the theory behind it is kids will naturally pass the ball. I'm not doing push-ups. I've done 7, 9, 10, 20. They will naturally start passing the ball, right? So then we start referring to KISS, keep it simple, right? Keep it simple, keep it simple. Then we bring points into it. We say, right, we'll play a 5-minute game. In 5 minutes, every player has to score 5 points. You score a point by passing the ball to a teammate. If you turn the ball over, not only do you do 3 to 5 push-ups, you've got to take a point off. Try and get to 5 points. It's a hard exercise to do. And then you bring goals into it. You say, right, if one team score, the whole team get a point. The person that scores gets 2. The assist player gets 2. And the whole of the other team has to take a point off. And then what you'll see simple, effective, quick soccer. And then you can use my favorite phrase, be greedy and pass the ball. Right? Be greedy and pass the ball, which means just look after you. I'm not doing push-up and I want points. So be greedy, get your points. If everybody's greedy mindset and pass the ball, right, then you're going to accomplish it. So if everybody has that greed mindset of pass, 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 then what's going to happen? We're going to achieve. Okay? Free play. So do we ever stand back and do we ever just let kids play with no instruction? Yay or nay? Hands up for yes. Question was, do we let children play in sessions, open play with no instruction whatsoever? Hands up for a yes. Correct. You do. Absolutely. Do you do it every session? Possibly not. But I do believe that you should let children have the freedom of play. Now, you might want to say, hey, our themes were 1v1, right? So we might be working on step overs, whatever it may be. Okay, so in your free play, try that. Mistake free. There's no punishment. It's you. I'm standing back. I'm observing as a coach. Just go and play. You've heard my voice for an hour and 20 minutes. Coach is going to shut up now. Go and entertain me. Okay? So every chance you get, a section of your training session needs to be open play. A section. But make them earn that. Even 6-year-olds, make them earn that bit of time. Because that bit of time is the most valuable time for them. That's when they can express themselves. Right? The reins are off and they're off doing it. So, the warm-up. So let's start now slicing down the sessions as we said. So the warm-up, 20% of the practice time. Don't overdo the warm-up. If the warm-up's not going too well, for whatever reason, get out of it. It's a warm-up, right? You know, the warm-up is the kind of the lead-off theme. The lead-off theme is just a warm-up. So, you know, don't overkill it. The purpose is to prepare players physically and mentally with a lot of focus and discipline. So if you saw my warm-ups this weekend, it was all about multi-movement, change of direction, using different types of movement you'd use in a game. Forwards, backwards, sides, dribbling, turning, passing, you know, just something you use in a game situation, okay? But don't overdo it. 20% is ample. Warm-up should relate to the main topics. Implement the main session factors. We spoke about that. Flow in session. You know, what's the main thing you want to accomplish in your session? The main thing you want to accomplish in your session should reflect in your warm-up. Remember what we said. End the session with the start in mind. Know where you want to go with it. Okay? Movement is the key to learning skills. Multi-directional, multi-speed, and multi-level. And what that means, you know, it's a maximal and progressional session. Have any of you guys ever heard of the bleep test? Where you run, it's bleep, you got to get back, it's bleep, and then it gets quicker and quicker. That's a maximal and progressional session, right? It starts off easy and it gets harder and harder. Base your sessions on that philosophy. Start them easy, simple, make them more complex as they go on. Let's get the snowball going, right? Get the snowball going, and let's see if we can actually accomplish something with it. Any questions on that? Anyone unsure? Okay. Technical section. So 40% of practice time. Transition from the warm-up into a technical activity. I use passing. The focus of the session is passing. I've touched on it very briefly in the warm-up. Now the technical part of it. So now I start critiquing. You know, square hips, push through the ball, get your shoulders forward. Yep. You know, start kind of slicing up the technical part of it now. Be a teacher. Okay, you've got the drill going, be a teacher now. Do you stop the whole session to teach one kid? No, 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 no. Right, I've got my groups. I've got 6 working here. I've got 6 working here. You come to me. Here's what I want you to do. You guys carry on. I'm working with this kid. You're doing this wrong, this wrong. Get back in there, let's go. Don't stop 5 kids, okay? The worst thing you can ever do in a training session, have lines of players. Kids get bored straight away. Kids get mischievous. Kids lose focus. So your job is to keep everybody as active as you possibly can, okay? Okay, so individuals, the purpose is to improve individual technical levels. So in your group session, you still have a responsibility to improve individuals. Even though there's a group of 20 kids, 15 kids, 12 kids, you got 2 responsibilities as a coach. Individual improvement, team improvement, okay? Repetition breeds confidence and individual technical advancement. So don't be scared to do something again. The following session or the following session. Don't think, oh, I done that last week, I can't do that again. Right? If you do that as a coach, you'll drive yourself nuts. Try and add something to it. Try and make it a little bit different if you can, but do the same topic if you think it's needed. Group technical, using 2 or more players. So for instance, control and receiving, passing patterns, 1v1 stuff. So don't just work on one individual, also work on small group training. So when I lay out a small group training session, I like to be the central person and just rotate and see everybody around me. So I don't have to walk the length of the field to improve people. Match scrimmage game. Allow players to play the goals. Okay, try and get, I know it's a small thing, but it's realistic. It gets them focused on what they want to do. The role of the coach now becomes the observer. That's that free play time we spoke about, right? So we're in a game situation, we stand back, 10, 15, 20 minutes, we let them play. Let the activity self-correct or do the teaching where possible. So if something's not working, don't just automatically jump in there and say, I've got to make it right. Take a step back. Let's see if they can figure it out. Give them a few minutes. They can't figure it out, then you've got a responsibility to jump in and correct it. But let's see if they can figure it out first. Reinforce positive performances. Now, I'm not saying have pom-poms and be a cheerleader, but what I am saying is everybody loves a bit of sugar. Okay? Everybody loves to be told, well done, that was good. Everybody loves to be told how special they are. Okay? I tell my players, I'm going to tell you when you need to work harder. I'm going to tell you when you're working hard. I'm going to tell you when you need to improve. And I'm going to tell you when you're doing great. That's the trust I've got in you and you got in me. My job is to give you that correct information. Okay? Pose questions to find solutions, like I spoke to you about. Give out questions, get answers back. Where's their mindset? Adapt your coaching style. Mix it up a little bit. So don't be the same person session after session after session. Okay? Try and find, you know, a little bit of flavor. Right? There's great coaching styles out there. You know, try and work on something that is out the box. You know, you're in the box coaching as this, you're out the box coaching as this. That's quite cool and quite important as well. So here we go, the evaluation phase. So here's the wrap up of the session. Ideally completed after every session from the coach. What worked? What didn't? What would I change as the coach? How can I make it better? Was the focus maintained from the group? Did I lose my focus as a coach? Was the session appropriate for the level of players involved? Was it too hard, too easy? Okay, that's my evaluation. Did learning take place? And what's my objective for the next practice? So the evaluation plan, as you see, is I planned the session, I implemented the training, we got into a game, and I evaluated the whole process. As a coach, I sat down on my own, worked out what was good, what was not good, what worked, what didn't work. What do I need to give back individually as information and as a group information? Summary. So key session elements. Be organized, be well planned, have a main topic and make sure it flows. Educational. Make sure it's player development and team development all in one. Make sure it's structured. The primary session must lead into the secondary session, and the secondary session must lead into the third. Topic connection is paramount. Connect the dots. Don't jump all over the charts. Fun. Make each session enjoyable and make each session competitive. Kids love competition. They love to beat each other. Okay? Remember, winning's not a dirty word. Competition's not a dirty word. It improves. It makes people better. Okay? That's it.